Part of me is like, well, I already fight in MMA gloves, so it's not really indifferent to that. And then part of me is like, oh, that's a bit too close to bare knuckle boxing. What's up guys, it is Tuesday, so a few days after the fight now. Feeling a lot more positive than I was a couple of days ago. Obviously, like I say, a really frustrating end, but lots of good to be taken from that. And like I say, I'm not just going to sit there and wallow in pity. It's not going to help anything at all. So feeling good, loads of good to be taken from it. The update on the knee is that it looks like nothing is torn or anything like that. It looks like it was just a really sort of lucky, quick pop out and in. So that's really good. That means I won't be out of training too long at all. Probably going to take a little bit of time off things like kicking and wrestling and things that are really heavy on your knee joints. But in terms of general gym training and a lot of my boxing work, fitness work, stuff like that, I'm going to be able to basically get straight back into that. So that's awesome. Really, really happy about that. I'm just on the way down to Ultraflex. I'm going to get a strength session in. It's going to be the first time I've actually trained while I've been like fueled, like full of food in ages. So that's going to be really, really nice. I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll see you in there. Going to have a big one. Cannot wait. That was a quality session. It's insane how much better you feel training when you've actually got some food in you and you feel really well fueled up. In terms of food, I've got pretty much straight back on it. Not obviously dieting, but just with good healthy food, you can really draw out how long you kind of binge for after a fight. So just got straight back onto it with good food there. I'm just gonna go home now and make some breakfast and then have a pretty chilled rest of the day, just getting some bits of work done. What's up guys? So I quickly wanted to talk about the kind of plans and goals going forward. Obviously the knee is pretty good, but I need to take a little bit of time off things like kicking and wrestling and things that are going to be really, really heavy on it. But I've been told I can go straight back to like regular gym work and also some boxing stuff. So that sort of made me think, all right, well, what can I do in the meantime until I'm back to full MMA competing? I thought, obvious things to do is to look if there's any boxing fights coming up, because apparently I cannot just train and enjoy it for that. I like to have something coming up, some sort of competition. I definitely train a lot better when I know I've got a goal to work towards, a fight to work towards, or, you know, even if I'm just trying to drop weight for a photo shoot or a holiday or something like that, I kind of need an end goal with a set date and something that I can really, really drive towards. And there's nothing quite as strong as that, as having a fight booked. So I dropped a promoter that I knew a message. He's got a fight in pretty much 3 weeks to the day today, a boxing show, to ask if there was any spaces on that. He said this is actually pretty perfect timing because someone has just pulled out. So do you think you could fight this guy? I was like, yes, perfect. 3 weeks from now, boxing, let's do it. I then heard back from him saying that guy whose opponent has pulled out has actually turned down the fight with me, which was a bit of a shame. I don't know why. Maybe he just didn't want that smoke, but yeah, so that's a little bit disappointing. But he also said there's like 7-8 guys that fight at my weight on that show, and it's always very, very possible that there will be pullouts. So kind of keep training, stay ready, and if anyone does drop out, then I'll get a call there. So that's awesome. Fingers crossed we'll get something for that kind of 3-week mark. I also spoke to another friend of mine who's got another boxing show like 2 weeks after that. And he said there's a good chance I'm going to be able to get matched on that. So I'm just waiting to hear back from him. Now the scary thing about that is it might be hybrid boxing, which would be boxing in MMA gloves. Part of me is like, well, I already fight in MMA gloves, so it's not really indifferent to that. And then part of me is like, that's a bit too close to bare knuckle boxing. So it's exciting. It's always good to, have something that gets your blood boiling a little bit. And then after those two fights, if they both come forward, that'd be amazing. If not, we'll work something else out. But after the second one of those fights, that'd be almost exactly 7 weeks, I believe, until the next MMA show. My knee would be great by then. I'd be able to be in full camp. So I can kind of just get back onto that conveyor belt of just training, competing, always having something coming up. And I'll basically be sorted in terms of competitions until June. So for the first half of the year, absolutely smashed it. So super looking forward to that. I was actually talking to a friend about this, and he was saying like, wow, that's awesome that you can sort of just come back from an injury like that, both like physically and mentally and stuff like that. How do you do that? How do you just sort of stay so positive and move on to the next thing? And I guess, what is the other choice? You can sit and wallow and be sad about things. And look, I'm not saying don't feel your emotions, don't be sad. Whether you've lost a fight or got injured or anything like that, it's okay to be upset about it and be annoyed and feel down about it. In fact, I'd say that's probably a good thing, and if you didn't feel those things, I'd question whether you should be doing it in the first place. But feeling those things shouldn't equate to you not training or just taking time off or not wanting to be around it and stuff like that. It's the same as, at the end of the day, there's going to be failures and there's going to be things that you try go for and they're not going to work out for whatever reason. I don't know one single person that's got a highly successful business that hasn't had failed businesses before. I don't know one single person who's a really, really high level fighter who hasn't lost fights or got injured or had some sort of struggle like that. Even when you look at your, Khabibs and your Mayweathers and guys like that are undefeated, they've lost tons of amateur fights, they've lost tons of rounds in the gym, they've had to deal with that, and it's almost like failure and losing and things not going exactly the way you want them to is kind of a prerequisite for success. Like, you need to have those failures, you need to know what you did wrong, what you can do next time, and ultimately also to know if you want it enough to actually push through those hard times. So I am feeling pretty positive. Obviously, of course, I'm gutted to have a fight ended with injury. That's never what you want. But other than keeping your chin up and looking for what you can do in the meantime until you're injury free and everything like that, I don't really know what the other choice is. So, yep, hopefully we've got some stuff booked in. Super excited for that. My weight is at a good point. I haven't done too much of a post-fight binge, which is pretty lucky. Even though when I'm boxing, I fight a little bit heavier than MMA, I don't mind quite as much going a little bit up in weight when you're not going to have someone laying on top of you. I don't feel like it's quite as much of a disadvantage, but weight is still at a good point, still feeling really fit. So yeah, it should be a really good one. Really, really excited for the next couple of weeks. Hopefully getting those things confirmed, getting some names, and yeah, getting fights boxed in. So just about to head down to Bad Company and get a session in. Just boxing, gonna do some solo stuff. I don't actually think anyone's gonna be down there, so always nice to have a nice quiet gym. But yeah, should be a good one. Let's get it. All right, quality session. It's always good to know for anyone that doesn't have a lot of equipment or access to much equipment, you can get a really, really good session in with just bodyweight exercises, and especially if you've got a heavy bag, do a bit of bag work and stuff like that. That's about me done for this week. I was going to go home, make some dinner and chill out. So I will see you all next week. Catch you later.